Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly how to get views on YouTube. And this is our proven system that we've used at Think Media to generate over 50 plus million views per year. But not just that, if you have a smaller channel, this is going to work for you because this is the exact formula that I used on my brand new channel recently to go from 0 subscribers to monetize in just 30 days. I followed these steps step by step, and this is exactly how I was able to do it. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. I also want to thank vidIQ for sponsoring this live stream. And so shout out to vidIQ. We're going to share a really cool offer with you guys where you can get started for just $1 and get your first month for just $1, which is really cool. So let's jump right into it. The question that you need to ask yourself really is, what metrics does the YouTube algorithm care about the most? And so this is something that I know a lot of people say, don't focus about the algorithm, focus on the audience. And I think that's great advice, and I love that advice. But at the end of the day, if you go behind the scenes on YouTube, you can actually see what the algorithm cares about. And if you reverse engineer that, it's kind of telling you what the audience cares about. So let's find out what that is. And at the end of the day, truly it's click-through rate, which is CTR, and it's average view duration, which is AVD. Now, we know this because in the YouTube studio, when it's showing you the latest video performance, you can see that it's showing you how many views you got. And then right underneath that, we have impressions click-through rate. And then you have average view duration. Those are the two main analytics, just besides views, that it showcases to you. And I'm going to show you how to increase these so that you can get more views on YouTube. At the end of the day, YouTube honestly just wants you to click on a video. They want you to watch a video, and then they want you to never leave. They want you to just keep watching videos, because that is how the YouTube platform benefits, is when people are spending time on the platform. And as content creators, you can actually do this and I don't want to say exploit the algorithm, but you can play to the game of the algorithm and get people to click on your videos, to watch your videos, and to watch another one and another one. And if you do this, when I'm going to show you in this training exactly how to do this, then you're going to be able to succeed a lot faster on YouTube than if you were to just start uploading random videos, you know, crossing your fingers and just hoping that something works and you hit the YouTube algorithm. So check this out. This is what YouTube said. This is really interesting, that you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your click-through rate and your video watch time. Now, a lot of people don't trust YouTube. They're like, well, why should I trust these people? You know, it's their platform. Of course, they're going to say this. But I want you to see this because I found this was really interesting. So this right here is Charles, and I follow him on Twitter. He is a really smart guy. He's actually an ex-Google machine learning engineer. And he did a really, really interesting study that he basically found out what analytics are the best predictors of views on YouTube. And when I was looking into this tweet thread, I found it so interesting. So you can see here that he analyzed almost 32,000 YouTube video analytics. And what he uncovered, again, was the best predictor of views. And so he shared some of the top big takeaways, the biggest takeaways from this. And he found that the #1 predictor of views on YouTube is a video that has a higher average view duration times multiplication the click-through rate. And we're going to dive into this because this is super interesting. Right here, you can see this graph that he has, and he's saying this is the #1 thing that strongly correlates with more views is even, and then he says this, even long after a video is published. So if you have a video that's 5 years old, 10 years old, as long as you have that average view duration times the click-through rate, and that number is higher, then you are going to get more views on YouTube, no matter when you posted the video. Now, there was one thing, though, that he left out in his testing that I'm going to be sharing at the very end that is really important. It was one of the analytics that he didn't talk about. And so I want to share that with you guys. And ultimately, you know, at Think Media, we have a name for this, and it comes with 4 ingredients, and that is the 4th ingredient that I'm going to talk about at the very end that he didn't even test. And so I want to share that with you guys. Now, the perfect YouTube video recipe is what we're going to call this. And #4, you can see this blurred out because I'm going to cover it in the very end, but we have the big idea, we have the hook, with the content. This is what we use at Think Media when we are coming up with our YouTube strategy. And again, this is what I used and the exact recipe that I used to get monetized so quickly and be able to start. The first month I was monetized, I made $1,000 on YouTube with my brand new channel that I started 6 months ago. So of course, I can't guarantee that you're going to do that. You need to study this and really understand it. But once you start to understand this, you're going to be able to get there faster. And that's what I want for all of you guys. And so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Now, something about me, my name is Nolan Molt, and I'm a content creator here at Think Media. I am the creative director at Think Media, but I actually love filmmaking. That was my first passion. And I found out that filmmaking taught me a lot about YouTube, which is, what I'm doing now these days. And a little bit about me. This is my wife, Madeline. And in 2018, we actually got married in 2018 on August 3rd. And then a couple weeks later, we moved to Los Angeles, California. My wife was going to school for accounting at Azusa Pacific University. And I was going to pursue my filmmaking dreams. And what was cool was just a couple days later, literally 2 days into moving, this was my first day ever on a Hollywood set. And so I got the walkie-talkie, and it was such a cool experience. We were here at lunchtime and they had craft services pulled up. And I was living my best life. Literally 2 days moving to LA, I got to be on a TV show set where they were shooting something for, I believe it was for ABC. And it was really, really cool experience. But at the same time, I still had this passion for YouTube. And this is me here at the very ever Growth Video Live, first ever. And so this was my first time working with Think Media. And this was in September 2018. A lot's happening. I'm working on movie sets. I'm also working with Think Media and with different content creators. And I kind of have my foot in both worlds. And so just something to know about me is that I still am obsessed with filmmaking and YouTube, but ultimately there is some correlation here that's going to help you get more views. And so I ended up reading this book right here, which is called Save the Cat, because I just loved screenwriting. I loved directing. I love storytelling. This is a really cool book. If you're into filmmaking, I recommend it. But I found a really cool takeaway that is awesome for YouTubers, for content creators that I want to share with you guys. And it's the idea that producers in Hollywood, they don't even bother reading a script unless the log line intrigues them. So if you give them a script and you're like, hey, can you read this? It's so long, they're not going to read every script that comes to them because they get tons of them. But if the log line intrigues them, then they will read the script. And so you might be wondering, well, what is a log line? A log line basically is just a 1 or 2 sentence summary or a description of a movie. It kind of just summarizes it into 1 or 2 sentences. And the idea here is that these producers would get people coming up to them and they'd say, hey, will you read the script? And they would ask, what is it about? And so you'd bring a script to somebody, and, hey, can you read this? And if they ask, what is it about? And you just can't tell them simply what it's about. It's like the producer's like, this is a bad idea, because you need to be able to really easily explain what is and we're going to be talking about how your YouTube video about, but what is your screenplay about? And this was something that I found super interesting. Now, as an example, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, their logline down here at the bottom of the screen says, after the rebels are brutally overpowered by the Empire on the ice planet of Hoth, Luke Skywalker begins Jedi training with Yoda while his friends are pursued across the galaxy by Darth Vader and bounty hunter Boba Fett. Any Star Wars fans? Let me know in the comments. Okay. I like Star Wars. I more so like the movies. That I don't love the TV shows. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not a real Star Wars fan. My dad probably is disowning me right now because he's a big Star Wars fan. But needless to say, I love the movies. The Star Wars movies are some of my favorites. Okay. That's a log line. It explains what the movie's about. Now, Blake Snyder, in this book that I'm sharing with you, Save the Cat, he tells screenwriters, don't even bother writing your script unless you have a good log line. So that's what I did. I was actually writing a movie and I was writing all these scripts. And so I wrote down a ton of log lines. And what happened was, after running my movie idea with my log line to some of my friends, I ended up picking the best log line that I had. And here it is. This is the movie that I actually wrote a script for this. A young photographer finds out he has 30 days until he will undergo a surgery, making him completely blind. And him and his best friend embark on a journey to cross off a list of things to see before he doesn't get the chance to see them. Now, real quick, stay with me because this is where it's going to tie into YouTube and how you can use this to just blow up on YouTube. So basically, after I wrote a ton of scripts, I finally had this log line and I had a script that my friends were actually excited to read it. They were excited they wanted to help me make it. They wanted to be in it and help me with it. And it was all because of the idea. I had a good idea going that was more interesting than all my other boring ideas that made no sense, basically. Now, I realized that this rule directly applies to YouTube. And so one of the biggest mistakes that I see YouTubers making is that they make a video before they decide the topic, the title, and the thumbnail. And this is kind of like the log line. So I want you to just ask yourself before you make your next video, like, what is this video about? Are people interested in this? Would someone watch this? Would someone spend the time to watch this? And this is one of the big mistakes that a lot of people are making. You don't want your video to be like these scripts in the producer's office that are stacked away in the corner. They never get read. And your YouTube videos might be like this right now. They might be in the corner. They're getting 0 views and they're just like hidden in the corner of YouTube that no one goes to. And everyone else's videos are getting read. Everyone else's videos are getting watched. But yours is kind of like these scripts just tucked in with the sea of other videos that get no views. Now we can change this though, but you need to understand this concept that if you want your videos to get seen, it really all starts with the big idea. Now, this is ingredient number 1 of the perfect YouTube video recipe is you need a big idea. And I'm going to give you really practical advice on this. I want you to ask yourself and maybe write this down if you're taking notes is what is the topic of my video? What is the title? And what is the thumbnail? A lot of people refer to this as packaging. So the big idea here, what's the topic? What's the title? What's the thumbnail? Here we have Spider-Man. And basically you can see that they're trying to show you in this movie, like thumbnail or movie poster, what it's about. So is the topic of your YouTube video and is the title of your video, is it interesting to the audience? And I'm going to show you real data on how to find this out. But is it interesting to the audience? And is it a topic that is proven? And that was the key that I used is I found proven topics that were interesting to the audience that I was making content for. Now here on YouTube, if you go to a competitor's channel, I don't like saying competitor, but someone in your niche that like vidIQ, they post about YouTube, and on Think Media, we post about YouTube. So I went to vidIQ's, and this is really, really cool. And this is something you can actually do today to find great video ideas that are proven. And that's the key here. So you're going to see the trending button. If you hit that trending button and you need vidIQ installed for this, we'll leave a link in the description where you guys can get that installed. And you can even do the first $1 for that first month to get that pro plan for free. But I want you guys to go to a channel that is doing well. Go to their trending section, which is only available with vidIQ. And this is going to show you videos with the highest velocity. And that just means how many views per hour. These are videos that the YouTube algorithm is recommending right now. These are not YouTube videos right here that are tucked away in the corner and not getting views. You can see some of these videos. This one's 10 hours ago. So that's, it's new. There's a lot of subscribers, but look at that next video. It's 4 months old. It's getting 533 views per hour. Imagine if you could just get 5 views per hour and you could just start getting some traction on your videos. But you can, you want to look at these videos. These are topics right here. Okay. You're not going to copy their exact title, their exact thumbnail, but you are going to copy the topic. And this is proven topics that the audience of vidIQ is interested in because they're getting views, they're getting clicks, and people are watching this kind of content. And this is something that you can do on your own channel. Another major, I love this tip. And this is something that I use all the time when I'm coming up with video ideas. And what you want to do is go into that search bar, type in whatever kind of video you're thinking about making. So I just started in screenwriting tips for beginners as an example. And using vidIQ, it's actually going to show you how many subscribers in the search bar, how many subscribers are next to their name, and also show you how many views per hour they're getting. So here's the trick that I want you guys to do that's going to help you a ton. Type in that keyword into the search bar. Now I want you to find a video here that has more views than subscribers, and that's going to let you know this is a proven topic, that YouTube's promoting this video to people outside of just their channel, and it's promoting it and it's getting views. This is a topic that people are interested in, and so you're going to want to copy that topic. So right here, 4 videos down, I finally found that this video has here, let's make it bigger, 2.6 million views, and it's a year old. Now, this channel with the vidIQ plugin, you can see it's 642,000 subscribers. That's a lot of views, okay? And it's wider than even just the subscriber base. It's not that just all the subscribers are hitting this. YouTube's promoting this video. Here's where a lot of people get stuck. They'll make a video and they'll title it Screenwriting Tips for Beginners. And you can kind of see the top 3 are kind of similar to that. But this 4th one is different. It says, if you can't answer these 6 questions, you don't have a story. So in here, there's still screenwriting tips. But what we want to note is the title. This is an interesting title and an interesting thumbnail, and it's a proven topic. And you want to start taking notes. Why is this video getting so many more views than it has subscribers? Why is this title interesting and clickable? And it's different than all the other ones. And that's one of the keys there, is it's different. And you want to start taking notes on that. Another really great idea for you to find proven topics and video ideas and title ideas is the idea tab in vidIQ. When you go into vidIQ, it will actually just give you video ideas. And you can see how much YouTube paid me for 1 million views. You could save it, dismiss it. And this is actually AI, and it's going to improve over time. And these are going to be tailored to your content on your channel. So this is another one of those tools that I love to use when I'm coming up with video ideas, because I know that these are coming up because they're proven topics, and vidIQ is kind of doing a lot of the hard work for you of collecting all this data and then showing you like, hey, make a video on this, make a video on this. So the video ideas is a great thing for you guys to do as well. Now, right here, if you go to vidiq.com/think, or actually just click the link in the description, it's going to be the easiest way to do this. And this is going to give you 30-day trial for only $1. So try it out for 30 days. Just $1, and you're gonna be able to unlock the daily ideas. Instead of just getting 3 of those, you can actually get, I think, up to 50. And so just $1, 50 per day rather than 3 per day for the free account. vidIQ is free, but for just $1, you guys can actually try that pro plan, which I definitely recommend because I'm using it every single day when I'm on YouTube researching different ideas. So shout out vidIQ for the awesome deal for everybody. We really appreciate that. All right, so that's the big idea, right? So you want a strong topic. You need the title and the thumbnail. They need to be strong, and that's going to help you lead to the click-through rate, which is what I was talking about earlier. So before you create your video, I want you guys to clarify your topic, your title, and your thumbnail. And this is going to take a little bit of work, like I just showed you, on how to do that and come up with some clickable thumbnails, titles, and it stems from those proven topics. That's the key there. Now, there is a thing as good versus bad click-through rate. Or sorry, not click-through rate. I think I guess there is good and bad. Low is bad and high is good. But clickbait, it basically just it's described as misleading internet content or shocking headline titles that aim to drive traffic to a website. So there's a good way to do this and a bad way to do this. Your goal is really to bait or clickbait the viewer. You want to bait them to clicking with a bold and enticing promise, and then you want to actually deliver on that promise. So your videos, a lot of people try and stay away from clickbait, but you want to have clickbait in a sense where people are actually interested to click on the topic that you're talking about, and you're not giving away all the answers. They're clicking on it, and then you want to deliver on that right away. So here's a great example of good clickbait that we used. Vlogging is dead, the new way to grow your YouTube channel. We have Casey Neistat in the thumbnail. It says vlogs are dead. This is good clickbait, and I'm going to explain why. But the reason you want good clickbait is because people are going to click on this video. If it was me in the thumbnail, I'm not going to get as many clicks on this video because people don't know me as much as they know Casey Neistat, and he's like the king of vlogging. So we wanted to use Casey in the thumbnail. Now stay just a little bit long. I'm going to show you how to ethically do this and use content in your video to kind of back up these ideas, because bad clickbait would be using Casey and then never showing him or talking about him in the video. So I'm going to explain how we do that. But this is good clickbait where we're using an authority figure. We're talking about vlogging, which in our niche, a lot of people vlog. And so this is good clickbait. Okay, going back to this, views. If you guys remember, it's views equal click-through rate and average view duration. You want to multiply those, and the bigger the number, the better. So click-through rate and average view duration. So click-through rate really comes from that big idea. If you can nail down this first ingredient of the big idea, and I'm going to get to the all four ingredients, which all matter, but if you can nail down the big idea, ingredient one, you're going to get a good click-through rate. And so that's the first part. But then what's average view duration? How can we increase that number of average view duration? And that really comes from ingredients 2 and 3, which is the hook and the content. And so I'm going to share this with you guys and give you everything that I know, so that hopefully you guys can do this stuff too and start succeeding on YouTube and getting videos out there that are making an impact and people are watching. So ingredient 2 is the hook, right? What is the hook? It's grabbing the viewer's attention in the first 30 seconds. So the first 30 seconds really matter on YouTube. And again, we know this because YouTube tells us in the YouTube studio, they show us the intros and they highlight the intros and they give us a percentage of who is still watching at 30 seconds. And YouTube's showing us this because they know it matters. You want to hook people in those first 30 seconds because when you do that, really it's a lot easier for them to keep watching the entire video if you can just hook them in the very beginning. Now, the hook doesn't have to be the 30 seconds. It could be 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It doesn't really matter on an exact second standpoint, but we know that the intro, the hook of the video really, really matters on YouTube. And this is where people make a ton of mistakes. So some of these mistakes would be wasting time introducing yourself. So if you're wasting time introducing yourself, then this is a mistake. You don't want to start off the video just right away. Hey, my name is this, and this is what I do on this channel. You don't want to do that. Another thing is long video bumpers and intro music sequences. So if you're still using long bumpers and intros, cut those out. Do not. We sometimes we don't even use our little intro bumper, but that's like 1 second long. And so it used to be like 10 seconds. We cut it to 1 second. Sometimes we don't even do it. And we also don't do it right away a lot of the times because we really just want to hook people into the content. You also want to plan out your hook. And that's another big mistake that people are making during the intro. So let's talk about this, which is that good clickbait. Here you can see a screenshot of the opening of this video. And it's Casey. We're showing Casey because we're talking about Casey. This was actually a podcast clip of Omar and I talking about vlogging and wondering, is vlogging dead? You want to show what you're talking about in that title and in that thumbnail. Think to yourself, what were they clicking for? And then you want to showcase that as soon as possible in the video so that you're really reinstating what they clicked on and reaffirming that they clicked on the right video and they're going to see Casey. Because again, if it was me in the thumbnail, I'd get less clicks. It would get less views. But Casey in the thumbnail, that's getting more clicks and views. And we're talking about Casey in the video. And then we're showing Casey in the video and everything makes sense now. It is a video about Casey and it's a video about vlogging. And so we wanted to showcase that in the thumbnail and we want to make sure we showcase that in the content. And we just did that with editing and throwing that in. So here's how you can power up your hooks. And number one is just open with a qualifying question. What is a question that you could just open up the video with? And maybe let's go back to that screenwriting analogy, screenwriting tips for beginners. What if you opened up with a question that was, have you ever been stuck writing your screenplay because you just didn't know where to get started? That's an interesting question, and maybe it resonates with the person. Another thing you can do is remind the viewer that they're in the right place. And this is something I do a lot at Think Media. I'll just take the title, I'll put it in the hook and make it a little bit different. So for example, with this video, how to get views on YouTube in 2023, my opening line, I want to remind you that you're in the right place. So I might say, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get views on YouTube this year. And this is our proven framework. I just reminded the viewer that clicked on this video that you're in the right place. And I'm going to give you what I said I was going to give you. I'm not going to clickbait you. I might clickbait you, but in a good way. So I got you to click and now stay, because I'm actually going to follow through on what you clicked on. And that is a huge key on how you guys can actually just power up your hook, is by reinstating the title and using those visuals to showcase exactly what it is. Another one is to give the viewer a reason to watch until the very end. And this is more simple than you'd actually think. And I'm going to show you guys a really good example of how to do this, but you really do want to, do that, which is, why should they watch until the end? And you want to put that piece in your hook so that most people are going to see the intro. Most people are going to leave before the ending. So if you can get them to stay until the ending, they're going to watch longer. And lastly, it's show and tell. It's using B-roll, that kind of stuff. And then you can also tease what's coming up. And that is a great way of giving the viewer a reason to watch until the end, is if you can tease a really cool moment that happens later in the video, and you can tease that during the hook. And it's even more simple than you'd think. In this video that got a lot of views for us, I show my iPad and I said, I'm going to go over these 10 key elements that make a viral video. And all of them are blurred out, so you can't even see what they are. But this just tells the viewer, okay, that's interesting. I want to know what those 10 key elements are, and I'm going to stay and watch them. Now, notice I didn't just give them all the answers in the hook. I teased it by blurring it out, by not revealing it, and I teased it. Another thing that we do a lot that you can do is just get right into it. If that's the video, start with tip number 1. As soon as they click on it, hey, the first key ingredient of a viral video is blank. That can work because people are clicking. They want to get right into the content. And sometimes that works best. Experiment with all of these and see what's going to work for your channel. Now, ingredient number 3 is the content. And you want to keep the viewer watching until the end. You want to keep them watching until the end, because that is average view duration, is keeping them watching until the end. The hook helps a lot with it, but during the content, how can you actually keep them watching? So back into YouTube Studio Analytics, talking about the algorithm, talking about what works. Let's see what YouTube had to say about this video that was doing really well that Omar on our team posted. And it said that views are 2.3 times higher than usual. More regular viewers are choosing to watch it, and they're watching it longer, which is what we need to figure out how to do, that we're going to talk about here. And that's helping to increase its reach on YouTube recommendations. So YouTube says, hey, you're getting more views because people are choosing to watch it longer. They're choosing to watch it and watch it longer. Again, click-through rate times average view duration. So I scroll down and this is what it said on the same video. On average, regular viewers of your channel watch this video for 3 minutes and 32 seconds. That is 7 seconds longer than usual. This value differs from the overall average view duration, as regular viewers are more likely to watch longer. Now, again, YouTube wants people to click on videos, watch videos, and stay on the app. We only kept these people on our video 7 seconds longer than normal, but it got so much more views. It got 2.3 times more views than usual, and we just kept them on 7 seconds longer than usual. So using these tips, if you can just keep someone on your video 7 seconds longer, 17 seconds longer, if you could keep them on a minute longer, you can get a lot more views on your videos, and you just need to do some simple things to get them to watch longer. So let's talk about this. And this is how to power up your content. Number 1 is pacing. You want to double down on the value of your video. And I see a ton of people get this wrong. Ask yourself right now, what is the value of your video? Is it education? Is it information? Is it entertainment? Is it motivation? For us here, it is some information, but it's heavily education. We're talking about our experiences. I'm talking about how I took my brand new channel from 0 subscribers to monetized, completely organic, in 30 days. I'm sharing this with you. I'm trying to teach you how you can do this on your own channel. And I'm doubling down on that value and trying to stick to that. I'm not talking about things that don't matter to the overall story. I'm really sticking to the content and understanding the value that you guys want when you're here. You don't really care much about something funny that happened to me this morning when I was getting coffee as much as you care about the tactical advice on how to get views on YouTube. So I'm trying to double down with my content by just giving you what I know you want from this video. And that is something that you guys really need to start doing in your content. If you're not doing that yet, is doubling down on that value. The next thing is to not over explain or repeat yourself. For me, this is really hard to do because I feel like I just talk in circles a lot of the time. Luckily, if you are shooting your videos and you're not going live, you can edit this down so that if you do repeat yourself, you can cut those pieces out. And this is why I love editing. And this is an editing hack you need to do. Watch the video. If you can take pieces out and it still makes sense and your point still comes across, then you want to take it out. Longer is not always better. If you can make it more concise, because people will actually leave your video if you're just talking in circles. And here I am talking in circles. Number 3, use visuals. Whiteboards, graphics, screen recordings. Here I'm just using some slides, and this is going to make it more visual rather than me just talking to you like this for the entire time. So if you're editing your video, add in some B-roll, add in some different visuals. Video editing, jump cuts, transitions, graphics, adding in B-roll, which shows what you're talking about. These are all great ways for you guys to actually just keep the viewer engaged. And then you can make it personal. Maybe you want to tell a story. And that's kind of what I was doing, is I was telling you about me and my dreams for filmmaking and this book that I read that actually helped me get more views on YouTube. And this is telling a story which can often be a lot more engaging than just trying to give you straight up information. All right, so here's another ingredient. This is ingredient number 4, and this is super, super important. And I want you guys to hang with me here as we go through this, because if you can do this, you can 2 to 5x your views on YouTube. If you can do this correctly, you can start doubling, even like 5 times more views. This is how important ingredient number 4 is, which is the transition. So you want to quickly lead the viewer to the next relevant and enticing video. Let me show you how to do this. So we have click-through rate, we have average view duration. The ingredient that James left out in his testing that I told you I would talk about here now is the average view per viewer. How many times when someone clicks on your video, how many views are they giving your channel? Is it just 1 view? Are they clicking on your video and clicking out and watching someone else? Or are they clicking on another video and another video? So that's AV, PV that we're going to talk about here. So getting the viewer to watch 1 video is good, okay? That's good. Success. We got you to watch. But getting them to watch 5 videos is a whole lot better. Now, there's some big mistakes that people make here. Number 1 is spending way too much time asking the viewer to like and subscribe, specifically at the end of the video. So the transition is the ending of your video, and these are the mistakes that people are making at the very end of the video. Hey, subscribe, like, comment. Don't do that at the very end of your video. You also don't want to send the viewer off platform. So at the very end of the video, if you're saying to go to your website and do this, this can actually hurt you sometimes. And though a lot of the times we do want people to go check out vidIQ, to go check out our different courses and stuff, you want to be strategic with how you're doing it and leave it in the description and let people go click on it. But at the very end of your video, if your call to action is at the very end, it's going to hurt your analytics, and we'll kind of explain why. The other thing is not giving a clear and compelling call to action to another video. That's the goal here, is your call to action needs to lead to another video of yours. That is the goal with this. So here we have YouTube end cards, right? Everyone's seen these. You want to be utilizing these. And what we've been experimenting with is actually just doing 1 end card. And I think you should experiment with this. We've tried 2 end cards. We've tried 1 end card. And though I wouldn't say there's been a major increase in just using one. I think for certain videos where we're very direct with what to watch next, we have seen an increase in that clicking. We've seen, 12, 15, 18% of people getting to the end, clicking on that card and going to watch another video. So experiment. If you're doing 2 right now, I want you guys to try doing 1 specific end card in your next video. So here's some tips on how to actually get them to click though. Don't let them know you're ending. Don't use, words like, all right, as this comes to a close, people are gone. You want to not let the viewer know that you're ending. And another thing you can do is agitate the next problem. You might be like, hey, well, you figured out how to write a script for beginners, but now you're probably struggling with the dialogue because you got your structure in place. But click on this video. I'm going to show you how to write compelling dialogue that feels natural. Okay, then that's agitating a new problem. So your video is the solution to that problem. Another thing is to just give that clear call to action. Click or tap on the screen here. Watch the next video. And just saying that at the very end, that is the call to action that you really want to be giving. And then lastly, you want to send someone to a video series instead of solo videos, because when you send someone to another video where it's a series and they go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, that is key because now they're not just watching 2 videos, they're watching 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's amazing. So again, click, watch, stay, and then never leave. That's the goal that you want to use. That's what YouTube is promoting, and that's what you want to focus in on. So that's the perfect video recipe. Those are the 4 ingredients of the video recipe. And again, you can go to vidIQ. Thank you for sponsoring this video. For just $1, you can get that first month for free. And click on the screen, guys, to watch another video where I'm going to show you how you can actually make more money on YouTube and not just get views, but actually monetize the views that are coming in so you can go full time on YouTube. And thanks for checking this out. I'll see you guys in the next video.